Hare Krishna. I hope I'm audible and the screen is visible.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
I
Prabhuji.
hope all the children have logged in with their right name so that interaction is a little easier.
Yes, sir.
Great. And if you all can put on your screens, it'll be nice so I can see each one of you. And also, I'll understand from your expressions whether you're really in with me or maybe you've dozed off or something like that, right? So it'll be really nice if you all can put on your screens too. Okay, now before we begin, let's have a little interaction. Tell me how many of you have come in because you wanted to, not because your parents told you to join in. Quickly in the chat box. How many of you registered for this module because you wanted to, not because your parents told you to? Quickly in the chat boxes. Okay, yep. Rianj, thank you. Viana, thank you. Harshi, very good. Okay, Arjun also. Nice. So that makes 4 of you all. All the others, the parents force them. That's what it means. Okay, don't worry. Even if your parents asked you to join in, trust me, at the end of it, you're going to feel that, wow, I did learn something new. Okay? Now tell me, how many of you all have heard of the Bhagavad Gita? How many of you all have heard of the word Bhagavad Gita? Quickly in the chat boxes. Okay, I see only one revert as of now. Okay, now they're coming in. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Ankita. Thank you, Devamrit. Thank you. So that gives me some amount of idea. All right, great. Okay, so what we're going to essentially try and do is over the next 6 sessions, understand what exactly Bhagavad Gita is trying to explain. So Bhagavad Gita has 5 key topics. That's what they explain. And today is introduction. So today we're going to try and understand why and what is Bhagavad Gita? Why should we understand it? Why is it important for us? All right. That's what we're going to try and do. So what we're going to learn is based on the teachings of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedant Swami Srila Prabhupada. He's the founder, Acharya of ISKCON, right? Now, like y'all, Prabhupada also at a very young age started devotional service, right? He was interested in God. His father encouraged him. He asked a lot of questions. A lot of sages would come to his house. And, he got very inquisitive. That is very critical. When you children ask questions and you want to know, that is a great sign. It's very important to ask questions. So he started at a very young age. And therefore, by the time he was 70, he went all the way to the US at an age of 70 and thereafter established over 108 temples in just 10 years. That was an absolute remarkable achievement. Why we're talking about him? Because whatever we're going to be learning is all thanks to Srila Prabhupada. So the way of learning Vedic wisdom or Vedic knowledge is basically thanking teachers. So we always begin with a thank you prayer. All right. Now, some of you may know this prayer. Some of you may be hearing it for the first time. It's absolutely fine. All right. What you can do is try and repeat after me. If not, you can at least read what is written in English. That's the translation. Okay. We put our hands together and we pray to the teachers for having taught us and explained to us this wonderful wisdom. They've made it so simple for us that we can understand this so easily today. All right. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prithaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. All right. So we begin with something is faith. Whatever we are learning is from our scriptures. Now you all know what the word scriptures mean, right? All of you know the word, what it means, scriptures?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So why do we put faith in our scriptures? So let us try and understand what scriptures are. All right. To put it simply, if a child wants to know who his or her father is, what should she do? Or what should he do? So there are two ways to look at this. First way is the scientific way, where all genetical testing will be done. But imagine millions and billions of people, if you have to do this test, will you get a kind of an accurate answer? Firstly, accuracy will be poor. Secondly, it will be very expensive. So this is what in Sanskrit is known as Pratyaksha and Anuman Praman. That means guesstimating or estimating, right? But the simpler way is just to ask the mother, right? If you simply ask the mother who the father is, you will get an answer. My slides are not moving too well. I don't know why. One second, my slides are not moving too well. Can you see the slides now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to go like this because my slides are not moving too easily. So I'm going to stick with this. It's a smaller view, but that's okay, right? Okay, so the simpler way is to simply ask the mother, right? That is known in Sanskrit or within our scriptures as Shabda Praman. So this is what scriptures are. Scriptures are like the mother, right? But sometimes you may feel, why should I put faith in scriptures? A lot of people have this, way of arguing or discussing. But we need to understand that in whatever we do in life, we have to have basic faith, right? All of you all have visited a barber or a salon at some time, right? They have some very sharp instruments in their hand, but you have faith, right, that they won't harm you, right or wrong?
Yes.
That is known as basic faith. When you board an aircraft, do you go and ask the pilot, do you have
No.
a valid license? Or how many hours of flying have you done? Do you ask that?
No.
No. Why? Because we have that basic faith, right? Similarly, when we go to a doctor, do we ask him, Doctor, how many surgeries have you done? How many people have come out alive from the operation theater? Do you ask him? No, you have
No.
that basic faith, right?
Yes.
So that's the basic faith that is needed when we approach our scriptures, because our scriptures are like a mother and God is our supreme father. So to know the father, the simplest way is to ask the mother. If we just go and understand from the scriptures, we will clearly understand who God is, what is our relationship with him, and what does he expect us to do. Okay. Now, studying of scriptures is also important because they have, historically, if you see, they have given us so many apt predictions. What is written in our scriptures thousands of years ago has actually come true. For example, Jesus Christ. The Atharva Veda clearly talks about his appearance. Prophet Muhammad, the Bhavishya Puran, tells about his appearance. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gautam Buddha, Chanakya, Ashoka the emperor, all of these great personalities, there is a mention already in our scriptures that these people are going to come. So when people say, "Arey, Vedas, they were written so many years ago, how can they be true? How can they be valid?" We have to understand that our scriptures are not ordinary. They are not like textbooks. Textbook, what happens? This edition came in 1990. The next edition came in 2000, so on and so forth. Our scriptures are not like that. They are not edited. Whatever is mentioned in them is the final word. And there are so many apt predictions that show that the scriptures are absolutely on the spot. Okay. Now, why do we put faith in Gita? Because there are many Vedas, there are many scriptures, but there is something known as essence, right? So what is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the scriptures put together, and it deals with various topics. But if you understand this one scripture, which is known as Bhagavad Gita, you're actually going to be understanding principally whatever Bhagavad Gita, whatever the scriptures are telling us. Is that clear? You all are with me so far? Yes? Now, I only see Vihana on screen, so I don't know if the others are awake or they are sleeping. So I'll really appreciate, kids, if you can put your cameras on. All right? If nothing else, at least keep giving me thumbs up so I know that you all are there. Okay? Moving ahead. What does the word Bhagavad Gita mean? So the literal meaning is Bhagavad means Bhagwan and Gita means song. So it is a song of God. Now, why is it a song of God? Because it is said in a very poetic way by the Lord. So if you go through the Sanskrit uh, recitation of the Gita, you'll understand it's just like a beautiful song. But what is the Bhagavad Gita? Now tell me, what do you see in the next picture? On the left hand side, what do you see?
Krishna tells
No, on the left hand side, what is this?
joystick.
Joystick and a game.
Correct, gaming. How many of you all have done this gaming? No? Any of you all played any of these games?
No, Prabhu.
No? Okay. If not games, do you all have a laptop which you use on your own, or a phone, or a television?
Yes.
All of these gadgets, they come with something known as a manual. Do you know that? Have you
Yes.
seen that? Yes? So what is that manual? What is the function of that manual?
It tells us how to assemble it and how to use it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Exactly. It tells us how you're supposed to use that device. Now, suppose, kids, if I don't read that manual, will I be able to use all the functions of that device perfectly?
No.
No, right?
No.
And in case some trouble comes up, will I be able to solve that?
Prabhuji?
No.
No,
Some-
right?
Sometimes.
Yes. Anyone has to say something? Yes.
So, Prabhuji, I had a question.
So we'll take all the questions in the end. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Great. So right now, what I want you to understand is that just like a manual is very important when it comes to using a gadget, similarly, Bhagavad Gita is known as the manual of life. That means it will tell you how you're supposed to utilize this life. Okay? That's essentially what it's going to do. Now, how many of y'all have heard of something known as a compass? Do you all know what a compass does?
Yes, Prabhu. It
Yes.
using the magnetic power, it helps us to tell the direction.
The direction.
Correct. So if you have this wonderful cruise liner, this beautiful cruise liner, can you see it in the picture?
Yes.
Now imagine if
Yes,
you're
Prabhu.
on that cruise liner which has all the luxuries, all the comforts, the swimming pool and the gaming zone, and all the play areas. But if you get to know, the captain tells you this cruise liner does not have a compass. Do you think you'll be able to reach your destination if you're on this luxurious cruise?
No. No.
No, right? Such a small device, but how critical is it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So what is it telling us? That similarly in our lives, if you're moving with great speed, imagine you're running, and you're wanting to come first, but you realize you're running in the wrong direction. Is it of any use?
No.
No. So what we need is speed along with direction. And what our scriptures give us is something known as direction. That is the reason it is very important to have knowledge of what is given in these scriptures. Because otherwise, we will be running in this life, but we will be running without a direction, right? Another thing that is said about the Bhagavad Gita, that it is like a sun. Now, what does the sun essentially do?
It is the
What
source
does the
of
sun
all
do?
It gives us light. Gives us light.
and is
It
the
gives
Gives
us
source
us
of
light.
our energy.
light, energy, absolutely. Now, if there is no sun, what would happen?
There will be full of darkness and plants can't do photosynthesis, so we can't eat anything.
Very good. So basically, we would be in darkness and thereby life would not function rightly. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is like the sun. It is the sun of knowledge, which will bring us from ignorance to enlightenment. Correct? Just like the sun brings us from darkness to light, Bhagavad Gita brings us from ignorance, that is darkness, to knowledge or the light. Okay? Now let's see what some of the great personalities in history tell us about or tell about Bhagavad Gita. Who's this on screen?
Gandhi. Gandhi.
You all know him?
Karamchand Gandhi ji.
Yes, you all know him?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, what does he say?
Those
He
who
says,
meditate on the Gita will deserve fresh joy and new meanings from it every day.
yes, they will derive fresh joy and new meanings. This is what Gandhi is saying about the Bhagavad Gita. Now, next, do you know this gentleman on screen now?
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein.
Who was he?
He was a scientist.
Okay. Now, what does he have to say? Who's going to read that? Riyansh, you're going to read that for me?
Yes.
Yes. What does he have
When
to
I
say about
read
the Bhagavad Gita?
When I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems so superfluous. I have made the Bhagavad Gita as the source of my inspiration and guide for the purpose of scientific investigation and formation of my theories.
That is the reason Einstein, whenever he came up with his theories, he always used Bhagavad Gita as a reference book. Always. A great scientist. So sometimes people feel, that science and spirituality don't go hand in hand. But it's not true. Because science is about matter and spirituality is about what actually matters in life, right? Science is about the who and the what. Spirituality is about the why. Okay. Now let's come to another famous personality. You all know this one? Who's this?
Will Smith.
Anyone of you all know? Any of you all have seen his movies?
No.
No?
Yes. He's an Indian. He's an Indian actor.
No, he's not an Indian actor. He's an Hollywood actor and he's done some very, very good movies. What does he say? So he started reading the Bhagavad Gita recently and he said he's done about 80-90%. And he actually comments that after reading the Bhagavad Gita, he realizes that the Arjun in him has started awakening. And even his daughter now is pursuing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Sanatan Dharma. All right. So this is the background of what Bhagavad Gita is. Now let's come to where does Bhagavad Gita come inside? So you all have all heard of this great epic called Mahabharata?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you all know what Mahabharata is all about?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
the
What is it
story of
about?
Pandavas and Kauravas.
Pandavas versus Kauravas.
Correct. So basically the story about good versus evil, if I were to put it in short, right or wrong?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
So
Right.
now when both of them were at war, that is the time this dialogue had happened on a battlefield. Imagine battlefield, a place where there are millions of people ready to fight. Suddenly this dialogue happens between Arjuna and Krishna. Krishna is playing the role of a chariot driver, right? And when Arjun is confused, he surrenders to Krishna and he says, I don't know what to do in life. I am confused. Why is he confused? Because he's seeing his own family, his teacher, his grandfather, his friends right across as enemies. So he doesn't know what to do. And when he is confused, that is the time he looks for guidance and knowledge. And he turns towards Krishna, surrendering to Krishna, and asking what he should do in life. Okay, now we will come back to that. But Bhagavad Gita is a book which is translated by many people in different languages. And there are many commentaries also written on the Bhagavad Gita. Now, what is the meaning of a word commentary? Commentary means when someone gives their own version to that. Like you all have all watched cricket, right? So you see the commentators, they give their own comments about a particular ball, the way the captaincy is happening, how the fielding is. They all give their own commentary, right? That's what they feel. Similarly, in the Bhagavad Gita, for the Bhagavad Gita, you have a lot of people who've given such commentaries. But ISKCON's Bhagavad Gita is the only one which is as it is. That means it is a literal translation of what Krishna told Arjun. And why is that important to have the Bhagavad Gita as it is? Because you don't want the message to get diluted. Has anybody played the game Chinese Whispers?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What
A lot.
happens in that game?
A person used to tell a word to another person's ears. Like he will
Right.
whisper a word and it will go us around, and the last person who is near the person who started the game will shout the word. And if the word changes in the middle, then it means that they didn't communicate it properly. And if the word comes as like that, then it means that there was a good communication between.
Correct. Now, how many of y'all think that what started and what ends is the same? Does it happen that what typically is said in the beginning is what the final message comes across?
No problem.
No, it doesn't come across, right? Everyone puts in their own version. That is the reason our scriptures, to avoid this mess, come down in a Guru Shishya Parampara. Now, what does a Guru Shishya Parampara mean? A Guru Shishya Parampara means that the knowledge is supposed to flow from a teacher to his disciple, from that disciple to the next disciple, and to the next disciple, and to the next disciple. This is what is the meaning of parampara. Knowledge flowing down perfectly, not like Chinese whispers. All right. So this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita has come down right from Krishna in a particular disciplinic succession of Guru and Shishya, finally to Srila Prabhupada, and thereafter coming to all of us. Now, Bhagavad Gita has 700 verses in all. Okay. Now, out of these 700 verses, the majority is spoken by Lord Krishna. Arjun speaks, so that's about 574 verses are only by Lord Krishna. Arjuna speaks about 84 verses. Sanjaya, who's the translator for Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is the blind king, right? Sanjaya has been given a divine vision, so he can actually see what is happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and tell Dhritarashtra, who's Duryodhan's father, whatever is happening. So that is the background. Okay. Now, Bhagavad Gita is again divided. So these are the 700 verses. Now, within these 700 verses, they are basically divided over 18 chapters. And these 18 chapters are like a McDonald's burger. Now, do you know what a burger is? I'm sure all of you do, right? It's one of the favorite junk foods of children today. Not the
Yes.
best, but yes, it is. So what happens in a burger? Where is the most delicious part in a burger?
Patty.
The patty. Yes, that's in the middle of the burger, right? So Bhagavad Gita is also like a burger, wherein the essence of Bhagavad Gita is in the middle 6 chapters, right? So we are not doing Bhagavad Gita chapter wise, but we're doing an overview. But I'm giving you a gist of it so that at least you'll have some knowledge of what and how the Bhagavad Gita is. You know, interestingly, every chapter of Bhagavad Gita has a lesson that it can teach us. Every chapter. For example, the first chapter teaches us wrong thinking is the only problem in life. And the second chapter is teaching us right knowledge is the ultimate solution to all our problems. Similarly, every chapter has something to learn. Every chapter, right? Like chapter 8 is all about never give up on yourself. Chapter 9 is how you value your blessings. Chapter 10 is how you can see divinity or God all around you, right? And then chapter 16 is how being good itself is such a big reward. Chapter 17 is very nice, where you choose right over the pleasant is a sign of power. You know, many times you want to choose the wrong, but how choosing right is important. And chapter 18 is the most interesting one because it tells you how you can move towards having a union with God. So this is just to give you an idea of the 18 chapters, right? Now moving further. If Bhagavad Gita is so nice, so important, and so critical, why is it that so many people have not taken to it? Or why is it that most people don't understand the Bhagavad Gita? The reason is it is password protected. All of you know what password and protection means?
Yes, sir.
Word
Yes.
means a word which is used to pass to the mobile to.
So how many of you all have passwords and for what, if I may know?
I personally don't have a password, but my mother has a password on her phone to keep it protected.
Okay,
Prabhuji,
Vyana,
for
thank
my
you.
phone.
Who else? Anyone else has a
Prabhuji, for
password?
my phone and my
You
laptop.
have yon on your phone? Okay.
Prabhuji, also my laptop.
On your laptop too? Okay, perfect.
Prabhuji, my mother's
Similarly,
phone.
on your mother's phone. Okay,
Yes.
nice. So basically, when there is a password, everybody cannot have access to it, right or wrong?
Yes.
Bhagavad Gita also has a password protection. And you know what the password is if you want to
Yes.
understand the Bhagavad Gita?
Yes.
Here we will see it in the next slide. Krishna himself has given the password in the Bhagavad Gita. He's clarifying that if somebody has to understand the Bhagavad Gita, it is important that he becomes a devotee and a friend. Who's devotee and who's friend? Krishna, or God's devotee and God's friend. Why? Because who will you reveal your heart to? Only somebody you trust, right? Or somebody who's your friend, right? So Krishna is also saying that if you want to understand the Bhagavad Gita, become my devotee, become my friend. Essentially, it means approach me with love. How do you approach your friends? With love, right? You don't doubt them, you don't envy them. Similarly, Krishna is mentioning that if you approach me with love, you will have this password decoded and you will understand this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, this is the basic introduction. Now, I'm going to end with a little story over here, which tells us how it is important. Many a times we feel that how will Bhagavad Gita help me? Is this knowledge really relevant to me? It was spoken by Arjun. It was spoken to Arjun. It was spoken 5,000 years ago. So all these questions can pop up in your minds. That if it was spoken such a long time ago, how is it valid in today's world? So on and so forth. So let me tell you a little story, which will help you understand what Bhagavad Gita does to us. So once there was this little boy. He was just about 5-7 years of age, and he loved his grandfather, and they had a great relationship. They would cook together, read books together, play games together, work at the farm together, and do a lot of fun stuff. But the grandfather would regularly read the Bhagavad Gita, and that is the time when the son would come, the grandchild would come, he would tell the child, come, just sit, hear what I'm reading, or just sit with me, you know. And the boy would always ask, oh, Granny, you're always reading this Bhagavad Gita. How does it help you? It's such a fat book, so on and so forth. So to explain that, the grandfather once he told him, come, let's go. I have some work at the farm. Come with me. So the boy was very happy to accompany his grandfather, and they went out. And you'll all have seen coal,
Yes.
right? So the grandfather gave him a basket, and it had some coal in it. And typically, if you see the basket, it's like a basket which can you see the basket in the picture?
Yes.
Yeah, it's that kind of a basket.
In the
It had coal in it, and the grandfather emptied the coal. And he told him that, why don't you go and get some water in this basket? Now, the little child ran up to the pond which was nearby, and he would fill water in it, and he would try to get it. Now, obviously, when coal is there in a basket, what will the color of the basket be?
Black.
Correct. Thank you. Absolutely right. So he went with that black basket, tried to collect water. But what would typically happen is by the time he would reach back to the grandfather, the water would seep out. Right or wrong? In that kind of a basket, the water will seep out or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So when he came back, the water had seeped out. He said, Grandfather, the basket is empty. Grandfather said, no problem. Go again. Fill it again. So he went again. Again, he filled the water. Again, he came running. Again, by the time he reached, the water had all trickled out. Again, he said, Grandfather, there's no water in it. It's all trickled down. Grandfather said, no problem. Why don't you go once again and get it? Again, he went. Again, he got it. This happened like 5 to 6 times. Every time he would get it, it would trickle off. And finally, the little child said, Grandfather, this is a waste of time. Why am I doing this? That's when the grandfather smiled and he told him, when you went first to get the water, what was the color of the basket? He said, it was black. He said, why don't you look at the basket now? And the basket was now absolutely clean and sparkling. So what essentially had happened? The water, though it was draining, had actually cleansed the entire basket. The grandfather smiled and he told the little child, just like this basket has been cleansed by continuously the water coming in and it's flowing out, it's fine. But similarly, what happens when you read the Bhagavad Gita is you get cleansed internally. That is when the child understood, oh, so Bhagavad Gita helps me purify. So there are a lot of benefits of understanding the Bhagavad Gita. All right, I have enlisted a few of them. So firstly, it helps you understand your potential. All of us have a great potential inside, but we need to realize that potential. Secondly, we all have some fears, right? We have fears like related to the future. Will I pass my exam? Will I come first? Will I get admission in this school, college, so on and so forth? Do you have that or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So Bhagavad Gita helps you reduce your fears. Third, it helps you control your mind. How many of you all think my mind runs here, then my mind runs there, then my mind runs here, and then it runs there? Does it happen to you?
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes? Okay, that's great.
Yes, sir.
So, Bhagavad Gita helps you control your mind. Okay. Then it helps you handle loneliness and gives you joy within. So, many a times we're dependent for our joys on other people and other things. Right? For example, if I get a new gadget, I'm happy. If I get my favorite chocolate, I'm happy. If I don't get it, I become sad. So, Bhagavad Gita helps you handle the flickering joys and sadness that comes and goes because it helps you be joyful within. Then Bhagavad Gita, the fifth point is it helps you in your decision making. We all have to make decisions every day. As you grow, you will be making decisions. Like you're about 10 or 12 on an average, right? From what I've seen in the group. As you become 13, 14, 15, you will have to make decisions about which subject to choose, which language to choose, what stream to take. So you have to take decisions, right? And anyway, on a daily basis, also, we make a lot of decisions. So it helps you make decisions. Then it helps you uplift your inner strength. We all have a lot of strength within, but sometimes we get boggled down by what people say, the environment, the social media. But Bhagavad Gita helps you uplift your inner strength. Then, more importantly, the seventh point is helps you understand what is right action. We all do action every day. We eat, but what is right to eat, Bhagavad Gita tells you. We watch a lot of stuff, but what is right to watch, Bhagavad Gita tells you. We hear a lot of stuff, Bhagavad Gita tells you what to hear, what not to hear, right? We do so many things in life. Bhagavad Gita helps you take right actions. Then it helps you understand about yourself. Spirituality means understanding who you are. Then it tells you about right food habits also. Imagine, Bhagavad Gita even tells you about right food habits and diet. And more importantly, it helps you seek the most important truths of life. So, all in all, if I were to put it simply, Bhagavad Gita is the best self help book. You all have read, you all have heard of self help books. Your parents may be reading some of these. Have you seen some of these books? Anyone can name a few books that you may have seen your parents?
Bhagavatam Tales by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu.
Okay, very nice.
Same with me, Prabhu.
Which one?
Prabhuji, I can also get those. I can show.
No, that's fine. That's fine, Riyansh. Okay. Anyone, any other self help book anybody knows? No, no problem. Chalo. So essentially, Bhagavad Gita helps us move. It's like Google Map. What does Google Map do? It directs you, right? It gives you a particular direction. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita also gives you a direction. And just like in Google Maps, sometimes if you take a wrong turn, what happens? It will reroute the whole thing to finally take you to your destination. Bhagavad Gita also gives you multiple options of reaching your destination. Yes, thank you, Rayansh. Thank you so much. That's a nice book you're reading. Wow, that's a good collection. Keep it up, my boy. Keep it up. Keep it up. You're on the right track. So, what is Bhagavad Gita doing? Bhagavad Gita is just like Google Maps, where it is telling you if you move in a particular track, you will reach your destination fastest. In case you take a wrong left or a right, no problem. There are multiple ways to go. So it will help you reroute. But the point is, our objective should be that we need to understand the Bhagavad Gita in such a way that we can take the shortest route. That's the objective. Okay? Right? Everybody wants to reach their destination as fast as possible, right? Suppose you have to go for a picnic. Would you want to reach the destination quickly or no?
Yes.
Yes, if your mom's taking you, say, shopping, wouldn't you want to reach fast?
Yes.
Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is helping you reach your ultimate destination quickly. Now, coming to the main thing, Bhagavad Gita deals with 5 key topics. All right. On our next 5 sessions, we will take one topic on one day. Every day, we will take one topic. So, what are these 5 key topics? It starts with something known as Jiva. Jiva means who am I? It starts with that. So, next time, we will be talking about who am I? Okay. Then it talks about something known as Prakriti. What is Prakriti? Prakriti is everything you see around you, your environment. Third, it talks about Kala. Kal is the time factor. We are all governed by something known as time, right? Everything is based on time. Then it talks about something known as karma. Karma is what is meant, we discussed even earlier, action. What action we take, what reaction it will get, right? And what is the right action that we should take. And fifth and final, it talks about Ishvara, that is God himself is telling about himself, right? So these are the 5 key topics of Bhagavad Gita. Now the floor is open. In between, I saw some hands raised and somebody wanted to ask some questions. So now please go ahead and let me know what you would want to ask me.
Prabhuji, I had a question.
Yes, Reyansh, please tell me.
So, Prabhuji, in the slide you told like when we buy a game, we need to get a manual.
Every gadget comes with a manual. We don't need to get it. It comes with a manual. We
Yes.
need to read that manual to understand how to utilize that gadget perfectly. And
So,
Bhagavad
Prabhuji,
Gita is the manual of life. Yes.
So, Prabhuji, I had the question that like when we buy that toy, someone has influenced us to buy it or something has influenced us to get it.
Right.
So like when we get that influence by someone or something, when we look at that show or any picture, so we can also learn it from that. So like I
So,
had
yes.
a question that it's always compulsory to read the manual.
So what happens is, yes, there are demonstrations. Demonstration will give you an idea how to utilize that. Absolutely right. But demonstrations are limited. It will not tell you about the 50 troubleshooting that can come up in a device. That is only there in the manual. So demonstration will help you use it to the basic level. But if you read the manual, and you can even read the manual when you come across a problem, there are 2 options. One is you read the manual first and use the gadget. Option 1, fine. If you don't want to, then when the problem occurs, at least then you go to the manual and the manual will specify if the red light beeps, this is what you're supposed to do. If the green light beeps, this is what you're supposed to do. Right or wrong?
Right.
So that's the second option. The choice is ours, what we want to do. Okay? Yes. Anyone else? Any other questions? This was just an overview to give you an idea what our scriptures are, why are they important, why are we supposed to put faith in our scriptures, what is the Bhagavad Gita all about, what do great people have to say about the Gita, and how does Gita help us in our life. And then finally, we spoke about the 5 topics which are very critical and how we can grow in our life knowing these 5 topics. So the objective of this module is growing correctly in life. And Bhagavad Gita is going to guide us with it. Okay? Yes, anyone else? Any questions? Vihana, Arjun, Krishna, Ankita. Raghav, none of you all have any questions? You all understood everything?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, that's wonderful. If you all have understood everything, then let me take some answers from you. Now you have to raise your hands and tell me, whoever wishes to answer. First, why should we read the Bhagavad Gita? Anyone? Okay.
Because, Prabhuji, can I
Yes,
speak?
go ahead.
Because
That's
it is
Shreya,
a
right?
man. I'm Raghav.
Raghav, okay, okay, Raghav, go ahead.
Because it's the manual of our life.
Very good. And what does it tell you?
It tells about Krishna consciousness. It makes us closer to the God.
Very good. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. Anyone else? Thank you, Raghav. Anyone else? Please go ahead, unmute and tell me. Are you all understood, no, Baba? Then you're supposed to answer. Ankita, Harshi, come on, go ahead. Tell me something at least. Why should we read the Bhagavad Gita?
Prabhuji, what was the question?
The first question that you see on the screen. Why should we read the Bhagavad Gita?
Prabhuji, it is a life.
Prabhuji, I have an answer.
Yes, go ahead, please.
It helps
First
us
your name.
to
First your
Riyansh.
name and then your answer.
Riyansh.
Yes, Riyansh.
It helps us to go to the right path in our
Very
life.
good. Very good. Thank you so much. Okay. Anyone else?
Shreya Prabhu,
Yes, Shreya, please.
it is a life manual which helps us to how to lead our life in a successful way,
How
how
to
to
lead
feel,
our life in a Krishna conscious way. Okay, very good.
how
Then
to
what else?
feel.
Anyone else?
Vihana sir, it takes us on the right path and leads us to the correct way.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Good. So I gave you the example of Google Maps. Yes, very good. Then
Prabhuji, Raghav, it makes us joyful in our mind.
very nice. Thank you, Raghav. Wonderful. Great.
And
It
it
makes
gives
us
us,
joyful. Yes, very good. Then
Prabhu Shreya, and it gives many lessons to us
it
every
gives
day.
us many life lessons. Yes, very nice. Okay. Anyone else would like to say anything else? Add any more points? No, it even tells you stuff like how you're supposed to eat right. Then it also tells you how you're supposed to uplift your spirit. All of that. Okay, chalo, come to the next question. Who can understand the science of Bhagavad Gita? Someone who hasn't answered, I'd really appreciate if someone who hasn't participated tries to tell me this. Who can understand the science of Bhagavad Gita?
Prabhuji.
Arjun, you didn't say anything, or Krishna? You didn't answer. Would you like to try?
Prabhuji, is the question like I understand the science of Gita, or it's like we need to tell the name of a book?
So the question is, who can understand the science of Bhagavad Gita? Can everyone understand it? No.
Can
There is
I?
a quality needed to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita.
So, Prabhuji,
The one who has relationship with Bhagavad Gita can, with Krishna can understand the science of Bhagavad Gita.
Very good. Who's that who gave this answer?
Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna. Wonderful. So you have to be a friend and a devotee of Krishna to understand the Bhagavad Gita. Very good. Thank you very
Prabhuji,
much.
who keeps faith in Krishna?
Who keeps faith in Krishna? Absolutely fine, Riyans. Yes, thank you. Okay, now the last and final question. What are the 5 key subjects of Bhagavad Gita? But one person will only give me one, so that 5 different people get a chance to answer. Yes, Arjun, you haven't answered. Go ahead.
Prabhuji, Prakriti.
Very good. One is Prakriti. Next. Who wants to give the next?
Karma.
Karma. Very good. Thank you. Who was that?
Vihana sir.
Thank you, Viana.
Prabhuji, can I say 2 of them?
No, one, please, so that others get a chance. Yes, Krishna, go ahead.
Prabhuji, Ishvara.
Ishvara. Very good. Thank you. Then,
Prabhuji, can I?
yes, whoever hasn't answered, please go ahead.
Jiva.
Very good. And who will give the final one? Who will give the final one?
Prabhuji, can I say?
Prabhuji, can I say?
Can I say,
Who
Prabhu?
Prabhuji,
hasn't
Kala.
answered? If they say, I'll appreciate that more. Someone who hasn't answered,
Prabhu,
would like to try?
Prabhuji, Devamrit.
Yes, Devamrit, go ahead.
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji, Kala.
Very good, Kala. Right. So these are the 5 key subjects dealt in the Bhagavad Gita. And from next session onwards, that's tomorrow, same time, we will be understanding the first topic, that is Jiva. Jiva basically means me. Who am I? So tomorrow's topic is going to be very interesting. Who am I? All of us have certain notions about who we are, right? But tomorrow, let's understand a little deeply who actually we are. Are you excited? Yes, are you excited to know who you are?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
be rest assured, you all will get some jhatkas also tomorrow. You all will get some surprises also tomorrow. Are you ready for it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so we meet tomorrow, same time.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
All right, thank you very much. And we meet tomorrow, 7:30, be on time, all right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam.